Hello there everybody, Sabata92 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Zero Escape, Virtue's last reward in what is probably going to be the finale. Now, before the video starts, I'm going to go ahead and say my brain is fried officially by this point. So, any other sudden revelations that will pop up by this, will probably start melting my entire skull, followed by my skin. Yes, my skull specifically first, and then my skin. So basically try to visualize that my head's kind of caving in on itself. Actually, you know what? It's probably a better idea that you don't visualize that, because some might actually get sick from that. So I think it's better that we don't do that. Anyway, one of you guys, specifically Ardith, gave me a list of the gold files, specifically for me to go ahead and read after we've completed this. So, we're going to do that after we complete both this path and... thanks to you guys pointing this out for me, thank you very much. There is supposed to be a path, supposed to be a, oh, never mind. Well, apparently it's supposed to open up afterwards, so. Let's go. Headquarters, April 13th, 2029. Yes.
Today is April 13th, 2029, and this is the evening news.
Hi!
Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have any news to read. All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6.
Oh yeah, this is not gonna be nice.
So have my... excuse me. I've managed to keep us on the air until now. But I'm out of tricks. It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague. Goodbye.
Oh god! Oh! Okay, yeah, I was... okay, yeah, I was not prepared for that. I should have been prepared for that, but Christ! For a moment, I just stared at the TV. The roar of the static seemed to fill the entire room, until with a click it disappeared too. Had the power gone out? I heard footsteps behind me and turned around. Hi! You. Akane!
It looks like the first step was successful.
What the fuck? You killed me!
Killed?
I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now, but still!
Hey, no need to be rude about it.
Hey, no need to... You fucking killed me!
I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine.
Doesn't that technically mean you stabbed yourself? I'm okay?
Yes. You and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way.
Me and Phi?
Yes, I only told you about you, but we also needed Phi to jump.
Where is she? Is she in cryostasis or something?
Now, you know what happens next, right?
We go to the moon?
Correct. We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029. We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle. Only a few last-minute checks and additions. You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9, along with 3 treatment pods.
Alice and Clover, right?
Yes.
What about the third one? Who's in there?
Phi. We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen. That wasn't the Phi who jumped from point C, though. It was Phi before she jumped from point A to point D. In other words, she was following the same path you are.
My brain.
And she still is.
Then that means that after you froze her, the point C version of her jumped back into her body.
Yes. The point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay there for the next 45 years, sleeping in ice.
Then when she gets to point B, her consciousness will jump to point A, right?
Correct.
Huh. So that's why she didn't look old. So, why don't you just stick me in one of those pods?
We can't do that.
Why's that? Why not?
You haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project.
Shit.
After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines. Otherwise, you will be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph. And, of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets.
You're kind of putting a lot on my shoulders, pal.
You will also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark. Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin. January 25th, 2074. You will defrost Phi and carry her to the third AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from point A will force you out. And you'll just go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028.
And then I change history. Do you really think I can keep the virus from getting out?
You have to. If you don't, billions of people will die. Only you and Phi can save them.
What about you? Aren't you an Esper too?
I can't do anything on my own. If this is going to work, I'll need your help. So, what do I need to do? What do you mean?
Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Phi and I jump to point A, what are we going to do then?
You'll both enter the Mars mission test site.
And after that?
I don't know.
What?
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything about what happens in there. We don't know how the Radical Six escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place.
Ah. So that must be the premise for Zero Time Dilemma, I'm guessing. Ah, crap. Then we're screwed!
That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds. We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility. Things will be difficult. And I'm sure you will find yourself in a great deal of danger. But I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle.
Wait. How do you know it's so dangerous?
The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus. So I suppose you could say you told me after you failed.
What did I say?
That the test facility is full of traps. There was one point, a woman's life was in danger. You risked yourself for her sake, and lost your arms and your right eye.
Oh! That's why I've got robotic arms and a cool-looking eye. My arms and my right eye. What the hell? Holy shit! Suddenly, a low rumble shook the building. What was that?
Go have a look.
No, don't play this morphogenetic sorrow! I moved slowly to the window and peered outside. On the horizon, I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly toward the sky. Would we really be able to change the course of history? No, that was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change history. We could save the world. I'm going to change history. I stared at the darkening skies above us and steeled myself. I would succeed. Anybody else get really teared up whenever Morphogenetic Sorrow starts playing? Is that just me? End or beginning. Achievement unlocked. Fire and Ice. Holy shit, this is so convoluted. Okay, there should be another path that opens up. Ha-ha! Infirmary, another time. Oh.
Where?
Wait.
I see you've finally woken up, Kyle.
Huh?
Kyle.
Ah, yes. Of course. You've only just woken up in this timeline. It's only natural for some of your memories to be missing.
I lurched upright, jumped off the bed, and ran around to the other side of the partition. The mirror over the sink was covered with a film of dirt. I wiped it off with my sleeve and my reflection stared back at me. There was no mistake. The reflection belonged to...
Kyle Climb. So, I'm Dr. Climb? Zero Senior's clone?
Am I mistaken? Is that Matt Mercer?
What? How do you know that? Shouldn't you still be suffering from amnesia?
An excellent question. One I didn't know quite know the answer to myself. I knew who Kyle Klim was. In another history, he had been called K and had worn a suit of armor. He hadn't just worn the armor in that history, though. Apparently, he'd worn it all his life. Kyle had been born and raised in this lunar installation, which seemed to be called Rhizome 9. Rather late in his life, Akane had appeared as a mother figure, and he had consequently grown very attached to her. I knew everything about him, but even though I knew it, I didn't feel it. Was I really Kyle Klim? Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw his face. The spitting image of Sigma Klim in his younger days. I looked down. There was Dio still handcuffed. I turned back around to Luna.
What day is today?
January 27th, 2074.
And today is the last day of the AB project. Akane has explained everything in the garden.
Oh my god.
And she drew a knife and attacked Phi. How long have I been asleep?
About 5 hours in real time. For them, it would have seemed like a little more than 2 hours.
So they still haven't been treated for their Radical 6?
No, they've all been given the antiviral. It just takes a while to have an effect.
Oh.
I see. So the consciousness of the younger Sigma has gone back into the past. It should have happened right after Akane attacked Phi, right?
Yes.
Why am I here?
The doctor carried you back here. You were in the pod in the garden.
So the person you call the doctor is Sigma Klein, as inhabited by his age-appropriate consciousness.
Yes, but how do you know that?
Dio seems to have remained unconscious.
Yes, I've been administering Soparil whenever he gets restless.
Good job, Luna.
What about the others?
They've all gone off to different areas. Tenmyoji and Quark, for instance.
Oh, right. Mr. Klein.
So the sleepyhead's finally up, huh?
What are you two doing here?
I swear, I think that's... Could somebody correct me? I swear, I thought that... Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm confusing him with somebody else. But that sounds like Matt Mercer.
You don't know where we are?
No.
This is the upper floor of the pressure exchange chamber. The real one.
Mm-hmm.
We were just about to get dressed and head out.
You plan to return then? To Earth, I mean.
Yeah.
Sigma told us where we could find the shuttle that brought us here. Well, guess he's not really the Sigma I knew anymore. He's Dr. Klein now, or Zero Senior, depending on how you look at it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, I'm just curious why you would choose to return to a devastated planet when you could stay here.
How's staying here gonna help? You aren't gonna say something idiotic about how we should wait here until Sigma changes the past, are you? You can't wait for something that's already happened. Grammar doesn't work that way. Hell, nature doesn't work that way. You following me? We've already lived through history. Sigma failed to keep the virus from getting out. About 45 years ago, Radical 6 created a pandemic, and the antimatter reactors blew up. That all happened. Whatever Sigma does in the past, history's not gonna change. In fact, it's because of what he did, or didn't do in the past, that we've got this past and present. Let me give you an example. Imagine a group of 100 motorcycles driving down an endless freeway.
Okay. I've got that visualized now.
Eventually, they hit a junction. The road splits in two. One freeway continues off northwest, and the other stretches out to the northeast. So one guy, we'll call him S, pipes up. "Let's go northwest," he says. So they take the northwestern road, but about a mile past the intersection, something horrible happens. A semi driving the other way veers into their lane and plows through the bikers. 90 of them die. The surviving 10 are wounded, but survive. They don't stop, though. They keep riding down that highway, and eventually they'd gone 10,000 miles. Then suddenly, something happens that they couldn't have predicted. S, who had survived, suddenly has his consciousness thrown back in time. He ends up back in his own body just before they reach the junction. He remembers everything. So what does S do? What anybody would do. Let's go northeast. That means all 100 of the bikers survive to reach their destination, happy and healthy. And they all live happily ever after. That's what you're thinking, right? It's a great outcome for the 100 bikers that went northeast.
But not for the bikers that went northwest.
But what about the 10 that went northwest and survived the accident?
Huh?
It's basically multiverse theory?
Wouldn't it be 9 people? I mean, S's mind went back in time, right?
Right. Okay. 9 people then. What happens to the reality they were living? Does it just disappear when S changes the past? It's not as if it was only bad things that happened during that 10,000-mile trip. Maybe one of them fell in love with a woman working at a gas station they stopped at and had a child. Maybe one of them picked up a homeless kid who joined them on their adventure. That 10,000-mile journey would be full of stories. Friendships, farewells, romances. The loss of those 90 lives is horrible and unfortunate. But what would rewriting their history mean? The 9 who survived lived full lives. How can it be right to just erase all that? The survivors overcame their own misery and loss and made the best they could of the hand they'd been dealt. Isn't that worth something? Isn't that the best thing that humans can aspire to? Is there really any point to a world where everything is happy? Are people who struggle for a better life just idiots?
I mean, to be fair, I know I'm an idiot, but I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm gonna shut up now.
Being human is about fighting, even when it seems hopeless, and finding happiness, even in a world that hates it. Are you saying that's worthless?
No,
If you're saying rewriting the past will erase all these other timelines, then whatever God wrote those rules can Look, I'm just not going to accept that, alright?
Come on, Tenmyoji. I'm a walking friggin' sailor whenever it comes to cursing, even though there are some words I still refuse to say to this day.
You get it?
If Sigma changes the past, then you and Quark will never meet.
Is he right?
No, it's not going to happen. We're here right now. This is reality. Even if Sigma does change the past, we're not just going to disappear or something.
Oh! Then that means we get to stay together? Good.
Thanks, kid.
Aww.
I understand how you feel. Why you want to return to Earth is clear. You have lives there, I imagine. There are likely people waiting for you.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Have you already said goodbye to the others?
Vi, Luna, Alice, and Clover all saw us off. We told them we'd see them again someday, and then came here.
They were the only people you want to say goodbye to?
No point saying anything to Dio.
Duh.
Besides, he's asleep. You were asleep too.
Sorry, but we didn't really know much about you.
You have a point. Akane was in the armor in this timeline, after all. What about Sigma?
Well, he's not really Mr. Sigma anymore.
Of course. He is Dr. Klein now that his consciousness has returned.
Yeah, but more importantly, he's the guy who brought us all here. Not a lot of warm feelings there, you know?
Fair point.
And Akane?
Never mind her. She's just like him. Not the Akane I knew. She must have seen some pretty awful things over the years. Hell, she might not even be human anymore. But the Akane Kurashiki I know isn't here. She's not anywhere.
In the end, Clover and I were just pawns. Pawns to be used and then gotten rid of. Still, it's not like we were completely resentful. We had to be here to help change the past. That part's easy to understand. But
Kinda sucks, though. I mean, Sigma and Vi have it easy. They get to go back to December 25th in 2028. They'll stop the Radical Six and save the world, and then they'll have a nice, normal future to look forward to. In other words, they get to go back to Point E and just enjoy history like it was supposed to happen.
But we don't. We're stuck with Point C as our starting point.
You told us about Ten Myoji's story, right? The one with the motorcycles? It would be like if Alice and I were kidnapped right before the intersection. Then whoever grabbed us takes us to wherever the bikers are going, 10,000 miles to the northwest.
Don't get us wrong. We know why we had to be here.
Okay.
Without us, S's consciousness wouldn't have been able to go back to right before the intersection.
S?
If that couldn't happen, then the fate of those 90 dead bikers would be sealed.
I'm gonna refer to him as Sigma?
But
It's still not the best situation for those of us left in the Northwest. We're stuck in the reality where the 90 bikers died.
are we just supposed to go live on Earth? It's a wasteland now. And what about our friends and families? We left a whole world behind 45 years ago.
Even if it is for the greater good?
It just doesn't seem fair, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
So we went and talked to the old lady.
She told us that there is one way.
One way we could get back to the past.
Let's say you do go back to the past. Wouldn't that cause your minds to get thrown back here? That seemed to be how Sigma and Phi's jumps worked, at least.
Yes, you're right.
But this is different.
Different. How so?
From what she said, it sounds like there's a way we can send our bodies back in time, too.
Huh?
That's ridiculous. It would create a paradox. How could you have two Clovers and two Alices at the same time?
In fanfiction?
But that wouldn't happen.
Akane says there's a way around that.
How on earth does she plan to do that?
Schrodinger's
Cat.
Huh?
Oh, hey, Kyle.
Hey, Phi.
Figured you'd come here eventually.
Where's Dr. Klein? Luna said you were with him.
He said he was tired, so he's off resting right now.
I figured.
There's a bedroom at the end of the hallway. He's in there if you're curious. Oh, right. He told me to turn on this hologram projector thing when you showed up. Want me to start it?
Sure.
Glad to see you. There isn't anything in particular that I have to tell you. However, I imagine there are a great number of things weighing on your mind.
God, I missed an opportunity making my character sound like, exactly like this. Apparently I missed an opportunity.
I'd love to answer all your My circumstances make that an impossibility.
Damn, I would love to be able to have a voice like that.
I hope you can forgive me. Everything I know, Phi should also know. I have instructed her to answer any questions anyone might have. Anyone other than Kyle, that is.
What does he mean, other than Kyle?
Who knows? Is there anything you want to ask?
Right, well, I guess I may as well cut to the chase. Just who are you, Phi?
I'm not Superman, that's for sure.
Damn.
And I'm not Batman or Spider-Man or Aquaman or a merman or a wolfman.
Damn it!
I'm not a Brahmin or Kamen or Ramen. I'm not a Cayman either, so you really don't need to worry about anything.
Please don't dodge the question. About 5 hours ago, Akane attacked you with a knife. That triggered something which sent your mind back to the past, correct? Specifically, you were sent to Point D, April 13th, 2029. On that date, your body was already in Akane's custody. Although by then you were in cold sleep. You wouldn't have regained consciousness, but your mind was now inhabiting that body.
Bryce Papenbrook? Not Peppercorn. God damn it! I can't remember the damn voice actors' names!
That pod was your home for 45 years. You slept there, frozen, until the time was right. Then on January 25th, 2074, you were finally thawed out, even though you didn't wake up. Still unconscious, you were carried to the AB room. That was when your consciousness changed bodies again. A version of you from December 25th, 2028 arrived, pushing you out, and sending you back to December 25th, 2028. This is when you finally woke up. In 2028, you found and joined forces with Sigma, whose older mind was inhabiting his younger body. Together, you attempted to infiltrate the Mars mission test facility. Fortunately, your plan failed. The Radical Six did escape on New Year's Eve. That failure determined the path you followed. Instead of going along the line that branches out to the right from Point E, you headed straight to Point D. Point D being April 13th of the following year. That was the day that you made your way to Akane's hideout and asked to be put into one of the treatment pods. Another consciousness enters your body around that time from the future. It is, of course, the version of you that left your body when Akane attacked you in the garden. This caused the two versions of you to swap places, and you moved 45 years into the future, where you woke up on the garden floor. That put you on the line that comes here. So if we discount the time you spent in cold sleep, for you only 3.5 months have passed since that happened. That being when you were sent back into the past from the garden.
Oh, my brain!
Have I missed anything?
No, everything you talked about you got right.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I'm kind of an unknown variable in this equation. You could think of me as a kind of X factor.
Huh.
It's taken me the last 3.5 months to understand it.
I haven't understood anything in the last 3.5 seconds. Could you please explain?
It's kind of like the relationship between classical mechanics and modern physics. Strictly speaking, you can't combine velocities with v1 plus v2. v1 plus v2 divided by 1 plus v1 times v2 over c squared is the actual equation. Of course, the sort of velocities we encounter in day-to-day life don't come close to being c squared, which is the speed of light squared. That means that 1 plus v1 times v2 divided by c squared is usually going to evaluate to something pretty close to 1. Since that would mean dividing by 1, it's usually okay to just skip that step and use v1 plus v2. You see what I'm saying?
No!
In most situations, it works, even if it isn't technically correct. So you knew enough to get the stuff you were talking about, right? As long as you stick to that, you won't run into any problems.
I don't quite understand.
You and me both!
In fact, I feel like you're dodging my questions.
So is that what you wanted to ask about?
No. What I really want to know is what happened between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028. You and Sigma infiltrated the Mars mission test site, didn't you?
Yes.
What happened there? How did Sigma lose his eye and both his arms? And why was Radical 6 in there in the first place? What could a deadly virus have to do with the simulated mission to space?
Sorry, but I can't tell you that.
Let me guess, the previous Sigma told you not to tell you.
Why?
Because it would change history.
Huh?
There is a history where the virus didn't escape. That's the line that goes to the right of point E. In that timeline, humanity isn't heading for annihilation, and Earth isn't red. The future is much brighter. But if I tell you what you're asking me right now, then that reality will disappear.
Really?
You understand?
I don't. Why would all of that disappear if you told me what I want to know?
You're about to go back to the past, right?
The past? Don't be silly. I can't do that.
Then where the hell did you learn all this stuff? I just listened to you tell me a bunch of things you shouldn't have known about. You were sleeping in the pod in the garden. You just woke up. So how can you know all this? You know my past. Sigma's past.
I shall give you your answer. You are not Kyle Climb.
I figured.
Your body is Kyle's, but your consciousness is not. Think about it. Do you really believe you're Kyle? Or could you be someone else entirely?
Then, where is the real Kyle's consciousness?
Turned into a question mark.
He was thrown out when you entered. Right now, in a manner of speaking, he has arrived at December 25th, 2028. His consciousness has gone into a body from that time.
Wait, what?
I doubt you know how much the doctor loves Kyle. He raised him on his own. Kyle is irreplaceable. Do you really think he would go back to the past and leave Kyle behind here? I know what I told the others, that Kyle was Dr. Climb's spare. But that was not his only purpose. Kyle's consciousness is integral to what we are trying to accomplish.
Okay.
This new mission begins on Christmas and ends on New Year's Eve 2028. Its purpose will be to infiltrate the test facility and prevent the spread of the virus. For this to happen, Kyle is absolutely necessary.
Okay.
And that is why he created him?
Yes.
So now that my consciousness has entered his body, the doctor has achieved his objective. Kyle has gone back to 2028 to participate in his mission.
Correct.
There's one thing that troubles me. Kyle was created before reaching point B from point D. That means his body did not exist on Christmas in 2028. Does that mean he has entered my body? Have we just switched places?
I suppose you could put it that way, yes.
That's ridiculous. What's going to happen to me? You telling me I have to spend the rest of my life here in this box, living in a borrowed body?
No, not at all. You can travel freely through time and space. You are an uncontrolled variable that entered our closed system.
What?
As such, the rules of this world do not apply to you.
I have no idea what...
Please don't try to play dumb. I know what you are. Surely you must know by now, too. You are about to go into the past and save the world. Phi and Sigma, even with all of his future knowledge, will need your help. Only you can right the horrible wrongs of our past. Only you can save the world.
There's no way I...
Yes, there is. You have to. Don't you want to know the truth? Don't you want to know what happened in between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028?
Yes, but I'm afraid that my brain is going... my brain is fried, but now it's just going to... Yeah, I can already feel my skeletal system starting to melt.
Well, yes, I do, but...
Then you must believe. Reality is shaped by what we believe reality should be. If observation can change the motion of a particle, then how is it odd to think that human thought can shape reality? Your will can change history. The world will be reshaped into the one you imagine. Remember what I've told you. Only you can change history. Only you can save the world.
Alternative end. Achievement unlocked. A certain point of view. Okay. That's it. My fucking brain. A large amount of me does not know how to properly process this information. I'm just so beyond baffled at this point. Oh, God. Okay, let's just move this list over here. There we go. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh boy. Here we go. We've got a lot to read here, but thankfully I've been told specifically which ones I need to read. Oh my god, there's a lot here. 16 pages worth of gold files? Holy sh... Okay. Okay. I was told that there was a specific set that I needed to go ahead and read, so apparently a large amount of the other ones are just retellings. So let's see. First one we should read, Sigma's Cat Problem, Parts 1 and 2. Sigma has a strange verbal and possibly psychological tic, which causes him to make cat puns whenever he talks about cats. The cause of this behavior seems to be an experience he had as a child. Hypo. When Sigma was in preschool, there was a deserted house near his school that everyone called the Cat Mansion. He'd always loved cats, so every day he would visit the Cat Mansion and give the cats that lived there some of his lunch. One day, he realized that he could understand what the cats were saying to one another. A magical black cat appeared and told him that it had given him his gift in exchange for giving food to its fellows. But the magical cat said, "You can never tell anyone about your gift." The magical black cat warned, "If you do, you'll be cursed." But young Sigma was so happy about his newfound ability that he slipped and told a girl about it. So the black cat cursed him. His curse was to speak only in cat puns for the rest of his life. Fortunately for him, a magical white cat came along soon afterward. Felt the curse was a little too harsh and lessened it, so that he would only talk in cat puns when he talked about cats. And they lived happily ever after. What the hell? Okay, Golem. The golem is an anthropomorphic creature from Jewish folklore. Golems are made from clay and will obey any orders given to them by their creators without question, although they tend to take instructions very literally. A golem is created by performing a holy ritual, then kneading the clay into the shape of a person, chanting a spell, and writing the Hebrew word emet, truth, on the golem's forehead. Erasing the E changes the word to met, which is Hebrew for death. Doing this deactivates the golem. Wow. Okay. Hey! Here's our Cockney accent buddy. One of the golems found in the nonary game facility. He is discovered lying on the maintenance table in the golem bay. His product ID is GTM-CM-GOLM. He asked to be referred to by the last of it, which is, of course, Golem. Much to his surprise, it ends up being pronounced like Golem anyway. On a side note, GTM-CM-GOLM stands for Golem, type male, Cockney model, number, Golem. What do you know? Okay, Turing test. Okay. The Turing test is designed to gauge a computer's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior. First developed by British mathematician Alan Turing. The test has 3 participants, a human judge, a human subject, and a machine. The judge engages in conversation with the human and the machine, and if the judge cannot determine who is the machine and who is the human, the machine is considered to have passed the Turing test. When Fi mentions that, perhaps she and her companions have been captured to perform a test, she's referring to the Turing test. Oh. Golem's story. The gist of Golem's somewhat rambling explanation is that the center of thought doesn't necessarily have to reside in the body. In the case of Golem, the self clearly resided in the mainframe and operated the body remotely. Since a self-aware robot could exist this way, he theorized, what would prevent humans from doing the same? If humans are actually being controlled by an outside force, then is there actually any such thing as free will? Oh. Okay, Golem story. The point. EU. Where is that? I'm not seeing it. There it is. Stands for erotic Stands for erotic units. EU is a system developed to measure a combination of physical, emotional, and situational attractiveness. It ranges from 0 to 20, where 20 might be Marilyn Monroe, and 0 might be Gilbert Gottfried. Oh my god. For the curious, Danny Trejo star rates 16 EU. Just being sexy does not guarantee a high EU rating. Not to be confused with competing systems of hotness or sexability, the EU system weighs a number of factors such as practicality, sustainability, emotional investment, and the bias of the observer. Women with a high EU rating have usually mastered the art of the tease. Oh my god. Oh, that was actually funny. Okay, next one, Free the Soul. An emerging religious organization with a rapidly growing membership. Some figures claim their congregation numbers over 1 million in countries across the world. Originally, the organization called itself Free the Soul of Y, but later dropped of Y to become simply Free the Soul. The founder of the religion is known only as Brother, and his true identity is a mystery. Only a small number of the highest-ranking members have ever seen him. The doctrine of Free the Soul demands that its adherents separate themselves from the world, free themselves of lust, and release their souls from their physical bodies so that they can be purified. Its followers believe that they will be born again as a new race, and that the world will be transformed into a place of equality, with no conflict or poverty. Considering how a peaceful world of equality with no conflict or poverty usually plays out in the movies, they seem like a pretty scary group of people. Amen! Free the Soul is a powerful new religious order dedicated to establishing a new world order. And the Myrmidons, sorry, I'm so used to saying it the other way, are their elite, frontline soldiers in that secret war. The general public knows nothing about the Myrmidons, but their actions have put them on watch lists of intelligence communities across the globe. Rumors say that all Myrmidons have the same face, suggesting that they may all be clones of a single person. No one knows where this rumor comes from, exactly, but I can tell you that it's a very credible source. Okay. The founder of Free the Soul, although he prefers not to be referred to as such. As a child, he had a younger brother, whom he was very fond of. Unfortunately, the worst happened and the younger brother was murdered. Rage and despair filled brother, and for 9 days and 9 nights he was consumed by his own misery. On the morning of the 10th day, however, he had a revelation. Mankind was rife with base desires, and needed to be purified, so that a new world would come into being. God had spoken to Brother and given him a mission. Brother dedicated his life to realizing that mission, and at the age of 26 he established Free the Soul of Y. He claims that Y is a symbol for miracles. Here's some information that isn't revealed in the game. Hey! The bracelet put on the left wrists of the 9 participants in the Ambidex game has an important feature that's never mentioned. As soon as it's put on, a needle on the other side activates and inserts itself in the wearer. That doesn't necessarily mean that it injects a drug, only that it activates and pierces the skin. Maybe there's something on the needle, or maybe there isn't. All that's certain is that when someone puts on the bracelet, they get poked. Huh. That's an interesting bit of information I wasn't prepared for. Okay. The secret of Quark's hat. The secret of Quark's hat. I must find out this secret, otherwise I'll never be able to sleep at night. Snow. Yes! Quark! I must know your secret! Don't you think his hat looks kind of weird? There's that huge band that just wraps around his head. Is he hiding a pair of Ferengi ears? I mean, he's just a young Lobot. Well, this is just between you and me, but he's got missiles in there! The sides of the hat are hiding those pods, like you see on helicopters or SAM sites, except these missiles are tiny, and when he gets in trouble, both sides of the hat open up, and they just fly out all at once like psh! Just kidding. Actually, he just keeps snacks in there. I like that. Thank you. That actually made me happy. Thank you. Oh my god. Okay, I'm liking some of these random pieces of information. Okay, the past 2 Nonary games. November 2018, 16 children were reported missing. In actuality, 18 children were taken. Shit. November's coming up. The person in charge was someone we will refer to as H. The purpose of the game was to conduct experiments on morphic resonance, with the children as test subjects. I won't go into the specifics here, but the short version is that this was the first Nonary game. November 1st, 2027. A total of 9 people participated in this session. They were abducted, just as the children had been, but this time, Hongo was not in charge of the game. Because of course he wasn't. We don't need him in this game, honestly. Okay, yeah. Clover was a participant in both games, and now she finds herself playing the Nonary game, which, I will admit, probably sucks for her. Nonary veterans! The following 9 people were participants in the Nonary game that Clover claims to have been a part of. Ace, middle-aged man. Snake, Clover's older brother. Real name, Light. Agami. Santa, arrogant, uncooperative young man. Clover, still Clover, just younger one with a jacket, you know, covering up her skin. Junpei, hero of 9 doors, 9 persons, and hero of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Junpei's childhood friend, real name Akane Kurashiki. 7, amnesic detective. Lotus, attractive programmer, has 2 daughters. Kuboto, skittish man, gets blown up. Oh well, bitch had it coming. Not really. What else we got here? H. Hongo! This refers to Gentaro Hongo. He was one of the characters who appeared in 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. He was the person who supervised the kidnapping of the children who participated in the Nonary game in 2018. He is the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals and a devoted follower of Free the Soul. Because of course he is! Okay guys, time for the good stuff. This theory holds that there is a sort of field where the forms, structures, patterns, etc. of everything in reality are stored. This includes abstract things like language, song, thoughts, inspiration, culture, customs, and ideas. Any information contained, transmitted, or carried by matter is held in the morphogenetic field. In the Zeroscape series, people who can communicate by accessing this field are known as espers. If morphogenetic field theory is true, however, then it would mean that, in a sense, all humans are espers of sort. Interesting. Tofue uga eris. A relatively well-known Latin phrase. It might look like it's talking about a pair of sexy toaster waffles. God damn it. Okay, I'm gonna try to say this without laughing. Okay.
A pair of sexy toaster waffles.
But it actually means something like, what you are, I was. What I am, you will be. Sometimes used as an epitaph. The implication is that the person in question was once alive, like the reader, but that the reader will someday also be dead. A little ominous, I guess. Yeah, a little. Kind of, sort of, possibly. Okay, Luna's necklace. The necklace Luna is never seen without has a cage containing a blue bird hanging from it. If you twist the key on the bottom, it plays music. Someone special gave it to her as a gift, and she says it reminds her of the following lesson. Search for happiness wherever you can, because the search itself is what will make you happy. Aww. Makes me happy. The zeroth law of robotics. 0. A robot may not harm humanity or by inaction allow humanity to come to harm. Clearly the 0th law has priority over the first 3, so the first law would have the unwritten addendum, except where this would conflict with the 0th law. Whether or not 016 was aware of this law is unclear, but in any event, 016 did act in accordance with it. Oh, swimsuit is next, really. For some reason, Sigma, or perhaps the author, seems to be unnaturally obsessed with swimsuits.
Why is that? Was he involved in a horrible swimsuit accident? Now repressed in his youth? Did he have a crush in high school on a girl on the swim team who put her Olympic aspirations ahead of any possible romance? He's just a perv? The world may never know.
Okay, I'm liking a lot of these, honestly. Okay, what do we got? No. Okay. Ronald Knox, a mystery writer from the UK, published the following as his rules for writing a mystery novel. 1. The criminal must be mentioned early on. 2. All supernatural or preternatural agencies are ruled out. 3. No more than one secret room or passage. 4. No hitherto undiscovered poisons may be used, nor any appliance will need a long scientific explanation. 5. No one with extrasensory perception or similar powers can appear. 6. No accident must ever help the detective, nor must he have an unaccountable intuition which proves to be right. 7. The detective must not commit the crime. 8. The detective must declare any clues he may discover. 9. The stupid friend of the detective, the Watson, must conceal nothing from the reader. 10. Twin brothers and doubles generally must not appear unannounced. Well, I wasn't expecting to have ourselves a little bit of a Knox little lesson. I feel like I just got lectured by a short girl or something. Test site mystery. Okay. Where's that one? Test site. Ah, here we go. The site in question was for a simulated manned mission to Mars held in the Nevada desert. On New Year's Eve, 2028, the audio logs from the simulation contain a woman's voice, assumed to be one of the test subjects, saying the following. 6 of us are dead. Counting myself, there are only 3 left. I guess you could say I killed them. No, that's not quite right. Not just them. Not just these 6. All of them. All 6 billion. Most evidence seems to suggest that this was the beginning of the Radical 6 outbreak, and that the Nevada facility was the epicenter of the pandemic. Hey! The scientific name for the order to which rabbits belong, and the third's actual name. That's nice. Okay. Tenmyoji and Alice. When they were split up at the red, blue, and green chromatic doors, Tenmyoji told Alice that there was something he had to tell her. That something was, of course, his identity, and that he already knew all about Alice and Ice 9. And not because he'd heard it all about from Clover. Oh, okay. After the second round of the A-B game, after going through the purple and green doors as a solo, was heard to say the following to Clover was heard to say the following to Tenmyoji, her opponent. What the heck did you mean with all that? It's not fair. If you're telling the truth, then I... So what had Tenmyoji had said to her? The same thing he'd meant to say to Alice, of course. He told her who he was. That simple fact shook Clover's resolve and made her vote ally. It probably hadn't been his original intention to betray her, but after thinking about Cork's safety, he'd probably felt he had no choice and picked betray. Oh, damn. Oh, God. Hey, by the way, I'm actually one of your friends from the previous nonary game. Pick ally. Immediately betrays. Damn. That's gotta suck. So, who was Fi? There are a few clues scattered throughout the story, but nothing conclusive. Perhaps the truth will be revealed at the Nevada test site. Yeah! Alright. Here's a little something more about the bomb deactivation passwords. Those passwords? They aren't just gibberish. There's something hidden in each one. I can only give you one hint. +1. Good luck. There's a lot more to the story, but I think we'll stop the secret archives here. Thank you for playing, and we hope you enjoyed the game. Yes, I actually did enjoy the game. Wait a minute. They aren't just gibberish, there's something hidden in each one. I can only give you one hint. +1. Well, shit. I'm gonna have to look that up. Not look it up, but I mean, just... I can't find my notebook. Oh, there it is. Look away somewhere else. Found it! Add 1. Huh? I got all the bomb deactivation passwords written on this one single page. But it says +1. I'm gonna see if I can try to figure that out before I end this video. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I've been kind of stuck at this for 20 minutes now. I have no idea what the hell I'm supposed to figure out with this, honestly. +1? I don't get it. +1. +1. There's a term I think. Actually, yeah, why Sun, Moon, and Star? 3 different types of card keys generally found in the saves in each room and used to open the AB gate. Without them, you can't open the AB gate to play the AB game, which means you can't gain BP. In other words, getting one of these cards is the first step in your escape. Okay. I was expecting you to actually give me some sort of, oh, I don't know, help me out with there, but I guess not. Huh. E = mc², of course. Yay! This is the photograph that Tenmyoji was holding. The subject is a girl named Akane Kurashiki. Akane was one of the people who appeared in this game's sinister title, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, as a childhood friend of Junpei, that title's main character. In 999, she was 21 years old. This picture was taken 9 years before then, when she was 12. Look at the left side of the picture. If you look closely, it almost looks like there's a man grinning in the background. Do you see him? Don't worry if it seems a little strange. Spirit medium has told us that the person in this picture is a guardian spirit who's looking after her. He must have shown up here because he'd heard what sort of destiny she had in store and decided to see how she was doing. Holy shit. I can vaguely see out of face. Or am I just imagining that? Like the whites, I can see like maybe a nose and a smile. It's an eyebrow. Huh. Like, hold on. Like, that. There's the nose. I think there's no there. Just say he's got a big mustache. Yeah. I'm an artist. Okay. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Okay. Whew. Well, so that was Virtue's last reward. And it looks like our next journey is we're going to try to see if we can figure out what the hell happened at the Nevada test site. Which I'm guessing that's what Zero Time Dilemma is going to be focusing around. Now, I'm pretty sure that there are some people that are wondering, when am I actually going to do that? When am I actually going to start Zero Time Dilemma? Well... You'll have to wait until next week to see.